Renee, good to see you. Can you update us on team news? Is Chloe Kelly going to be okay because she missed the last game of the knock?
Yeah, a little knock, but she's been in big parts of training this week, so it looks very positive.
Has there been a slight step up in intensity this week, given the opposition this weekend?
Yeah, we know they're going to play with a lot of intensity, Manchester United, and that's what we need to prepare for. But at the same time, I think our first two games in WSL were very high intensity. I think the game or the league is developing so fast, and so from that sense, it's been two really good games for us. Now going into United, and that game will ask a lot from us, and we're trying to prepare accordingly.
What are you expecting from United this weekend, because they've just been involved in a really important game last night to book their spot in the Champions League this season?
Yeah, they of course they had to come back from a 1-0 against Ballon away, and then they come back to England, win against London City Lionesses, and they turned it around yesterday. So I guess they are positive. That there's positive vibes, but that's them, that's their camp. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. For us, it's focusing on ourselves and trying to prepare as well as possible with all the detail and all the things we think we can expect on Sunday, so we control as many things as possible on Sunday.
And finally for me, the Champions League draw was made this morning. What do you make of it? Because there's some pretty exciting ties in there.
Yeah, so it's three teams again that we just played against last Champions League. So we're very excited, of course, and it's a new format. So you play against 6 different opponents, and the draw is there. Now we know who we're going to play against, and we're going to prepare for it. And the scheduling at the moment, so we'll see what the first game is. But again, that will be October. Right now, it's United on Sunday.
Just picking up on that Champions League draw, because it's a new format, very much like the men's was a new format last year. Do you expect it to be a bit more exciting and towards the end, maybe games that still matter?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's the first time we do it, of course, in the women's game. If you look at the different games that are going to be played, there's a lot of competitive games, and I think that's why UEFA changed the format as well, to keep it as competitive as possible for as long as possible. So,
talking about competitive, WSL this season looks very competitive, and I saw you after you won at West Ham last Friday, 5-1. You've already scored 9 goals in 2 games. Is that your thinking this year? And not only do we have to win games, we're probably going to have to score a lot of goals, because it might even come down to goal difference.
I don't want us to stop. I want us to be as strong as possible for 90 plus minutes. And if we can score goals early, then we'll do it. If they come late, then we'll go for it as well. So, and every game has its own story, momentum shifts, and I think we score quite some goals in the final stages of games in the first 2 WSL games. That's. You play the game, you try to control as much of the game as possible, and you take your chances when they come. And like I said, momentum shifts in games, and I'm sure it will be a very tight game on Sunday with momentum shifts as well. But we're trying to control as much as possible on Sunday.
Because sometimes in football that can be hard, but a team is maybe 2 or 3 up at half time. To go second half at the same intensity when you've already won the game can be very difficult.
There's a lot of psychology in football, and I'm sure there will be a lot of psychology on Sunday as well.
Finally, I presume Monday night you're busy. You're going to Paris for the Ballon d'Or. Arsenal up for Team of the Year, which you would expect to win as you won Champions League, yeah?
Very proud, of course, on the nomination. I think the club is doing a lot of good things on all fronts, so we're very proud. Let's see first what happens on Monday, and then we can speak again.
Have you got any speech prepared?
No. I'm a lot about creativity and doing things in the moment, so we'll see.
Hi Renee, nice to see you. Last season, Man United's success was built on a very strong defence, whereas this season, alongside you, the top scorers in the WSL so far. Have you seen them evolve much this season, would you say? It's a different United this year?
I think they've been looking good in what I've seen. I still think they have a similar identity to last year, but of course every team is trying to work on the details and add to squad, and I think that's probably what they have been doing. But I agree with you that there's a lot of identity in their game connected to their game out of possession, and they have a lot of quality both as a team and as individuals in possession as well.
I know every game in the league matters as much as each other, but last season, for instance, Chelsea against the other three teams in the top four took 18 points from those games. Arsenal, I think, took 8 points from those games. So how important are these matches against the other teams you expect in the top four for deciding the title?
Yeah, it's very early in the season still, but we focus on ourselves, and what we said is we want to do things with consistency, and that was our learning from last season. So wherever we are in the season and whoever the opposition, we want to bring our best game.
Helen.
Hi Renee. I wondered if, like myself, you've been watching all the other women's sport that's on at the moment, like the Women's Rugby World Cup. The athletics is fantastic. I don't know if you saw Ballon from golf for the Netherlands just now. And I wondered if there's things that we can take from other women's sports.
I haven't been watching much. Sorry, I've been watching football. But I do. It's on my to-do list, but it stays very low on the to-do list all the time to go and visit other sports and see how they work, because there's so much to take. So no, I haven't been watching a lot lately, but there's a lot of things we can learn from other sports, I think.
But I think maybe the men's team as well has been doing is this different thing between starters and finishers. And I think you used that term in the last season as well. And when you look at the rugby ones, the way they finish the games, you can see there's more fitness maybe in a top team. They tend to fall away at the end, the small teams. And I wonder whether you ever kind of, in your mind, you fixed it that beforehand, the different passages of the match.
Yeah, it's always about planning the game and visualizing the game and what do we think happens early in the game and what do we think happens late in the game. This is inspiration from other sports, inspiration from other coaches who've worked with this before, and I think there's a certain way of doing things and a certain way of thinking in football, and I think we want to push forward and break those norms, because I think it becomes more and more important, like you said, with the physicality in the game, and also since the change for a couple of years ago, you can make 5 changes in a game instead of 3, so it's become more important.
That's huge, isn't it, the 5 changes? That's made a massive difference.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Catherine.
Hi Renee. Obviously last 2 games you've won by big scorelines, but you conceded the first goal. I wonder if the message to the team for Sunday is to maybe start a little bit quicker than potentially the last 2 games?
Every game is its own story, and we always analyze every game we've played as well. So we take learnings from the first 2 games we've played, and then Sunday will be another game and will be another story, and we need to be very detailed in our plan for that game. So what do we want to achieve, and what do we want to do early in the game, and what do we want to do late in the game, and of course, internally, we've looked at that as well, that we built into the game, and then we built into the game really well, but can we do that earlier and quicker?
In his pre-match press conference spoke quite a lot about Arsenal's investment and kind of how Arsenal and Chelsea are the 2 toughest teams to play in Europe at the moment. He thinks, and he was kind of saying Man United can't sort of compete on the same level right now. Is it as simple as that when it comes down to the 90 minutes of the game? How much does investment kind of come into it?
I wouldn't necessarily link it to a 90-minute game. It's a squad game. It's a team game. It's not an individual game. So I think what we try to do, there's always a foundation of cohesion as a team, because if that's not there, then individuals can't thrive and can't bring the detail that they can bring otherwise. So no, I see it. The team is the foundation, but of course every team is looking at individual qualities that can break something open for you, and that's what we're looking at as well. It's part of football.
Hi, Renee, nice to meet you. I just wanted to ask a bit about Jenna and kind of how you see her role in the squad this season. Obviously going into now Champions League, I guess depth and rotation will become even more important, but she's not been involved so far. I wondered, could you tell us a little bit about what you've seen from her recently, what her position is?
Yeah, so we have a very strong squad, and I'm so happy with the squad, and we need the squad because it's going to be a long season with a lot of games and 4 or 5 competitions to compete in. So that's the starting point. Then me having to make decisions on selection and players who start and finish. That's something I have to carry, and that's a burden for me. It's hard, it hurts, but that's part of it. But in general, I think we need the squad, and it was a decision for us to have this squad because we think we need the depth.
And sort of how do you go about explaining that to players who maybe aren't playing that starting role or aren't getting on as much as they wanted? What's the kind of messaging in the group like around that?
At the moment, not so dramatic because we've only played 2 games. Yeah, so that's only 2 moments.
The game against United last season in League was kind of billed as like your first sort of, I mean every game's a big game, but your first sort of big game in charge against the rival. Obviously since then you've had lots of experience managing in these types of games against various oppositions and styles. Looking back on that game, where if I remember correctly, played well for a long period, quite get the win. Are there sort of learnings you've taken in the sort of 10 months or so since that fixture bring into this game, or has the approach sort of remained quite similar?
I've learned so many things. If I think back to that game, it feels like such a long time ago, and I think it's been so many games in that short period I've been here now. I think we played well in that game. We conceded a late goal from a corner, but I also see that both teams have changed. So I think they've changed both personnel and their style a little bit, and for us the same. So it will be a new game, but of course we carry the experience of having played there. There's players in our squad that have played there many more times than me, but I'm happy I've been there because it's a setting with a big crowd. They will be loud, but we know that we have our fans traveling as well. I think we have 1,000 fans traveling, so they will feed off of them as well, and they will bring out energy.
And just quickly for me as well, it was mentioned earlier that Chelsea took maximum points in these matches against teams in the Big Four. Do you think when you, as a team that has aspirations to hopefully go on and challenge for the title, do you think, does the approach change in the sense that you kind of need to be protagonists in a game like this, and maybe in years gone by you might look at this game, previous managers up and might go, oh okay, yeah, a point would be a good result. Do you think there's a bit more pressure now to go there and try and win the game?
Yeah, I don't think much about that. We know the importance of every game, and that this game is no different. And every game has its challenges. London City Lionesses and West Ham had its challenges, and there will be challenges for us on Sunday. But of course we want to go there and get maximum result and maximum points. That's what we'll go for, absolutely.
Thanks. Last direction.
And obviously speaking about substitutions and modifications for depth, one of the players that hasn't been substituted and has played the full games so far this season is Katie Breed, obviously a young player. How have you found that she's been establishing herself in the squad so far this season, and how impressed have you been with her performance?
Well, as a club, I think the club should be proud. All her academy coaches that have supported her and have been part of her journey, and the club facilitating this, making the step from academy to senior football possible. So first of all, it's a club thing, so that's really strong. Katie is where she is because of the quality she has. She is a centre-back that has a lot of qualities that we want and need in our squad. But the main thing, and I think I've been saying it before, is her mindset and how she wants to learn, how she's humble, how she takes things on board, how she communicates, all those things, and they matter for young players. And some journeys take longer, some go faster, and you never know, with young players. That's always an 11-year-old. You don't know. Is he or she going to make it? What direction are they going to develop? And I think with Katie, it's just been going really fast lately. And but we're so happy she's with us.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you. I'm stealing this.
Good luck on Monday as well.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Thanks.